Yeah, Larry said it. I was nominated as one of the top 10 inspirational comedians of the year 2 years in a row. I see you're impressed. And actually, it sounds impressive until you realize there's only 14 of us. And then it's no big deal at all. So people always ask me, he's so funny, my booking agent, he's like, you need to come up with a good title for your show. Something that draws people to you. Like Dennis Swanberg is the minister of encouragement. That's good. Ken Davis says, lighten up and live. That's good too. I say, hire comedian David Farrell. He has no other marketable skills. That's not true. For 14 years, I was an airport shuttle bus driver at the Raleigh-Durham International Airport. I have a book out called My Life Goes Full Circle every 15 minutes. Stories of the airport shuttle bus driver. And like a lot of people that don't make a lot of money, I used to have to wear that name tag. Had my first name underneath my occupation. So it said David Van Driver. This lady gets on my shuttle bus. She's like, oh, are you German? It's like, no, actually, I think I'm English or Irish or something. She's like, it's really odd that your last name is Van Driver and you drive a van. I had this older gentleman on my shuttle bus, and I'm like, what are you doing here in Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina? He's like, I'm here for my 75th high school reunion. I said, wow, 75 years out of high school? I don't mean to be rude or intrusive, but how many other people are you expecting? He said, well, there's at least one more. Somebody sent me an invitation. I used to work on my own material, try out original jokes on unsuspecting people on the shuttle bus. People get on the shuttle bus, I'm like, the Ford Motor Company has come up with a dinosaur collection of cars. You want the big luxury car? They have the Brontosaurus. If you want the aerodynamic sports car, they have the Stegosaurus. But they are having problems with the Tyrannosaurus, because apparently the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now, you would think being twice nominated for something that the work would get better and better, but it doesn't. I got a call from this lady. She's like, is this David Farrell? I said, this is David Farrell. She said, David, this is Lois Leda. My son Matthew is having his bar mitzvah. We've checked with all the Jewish comedians and they're too expensive. We're going the next level down to the Christians. And you have a Jewish name. So I did it. There is pressure because, look, I'm not going to tell you, now the economy is not doing well. We all know that. It was never more evident than I got a call from a company. 3 years ago, they had Jay Leno as their Christmas comedian. $150,000 for 1 hour, $10,000 in travel expenses. This past year, they had me. So I'm feeling the pressure following Jay Leno of all people. So I did the show, and this lady makes a beeline for me. She's like, you weren't as funny as our last comedian. I said, you mean Jay Leno? Yes. Was I half as funny? Oh, yeah. Well, you owe me $75,000. So I have a little bit more money now, so I was able to get one of these GPS systems. I'm so glad I have that because up till last year, I used MapQuest for all my travel needs. MapQuest says it all. It is a quest for a map. They can't get you anywhere close. They get you like 4 miles from where you need to be, but never the right street. You follow directions, all of a sudden you're sitting in someone's neighborhood looking at their house. I'm like, this is not where I need to be. So I'd like just old school, send it to me in the mail. I'll read it. I'll follow the directions. Now, I was doing a show about an hour from here in Goldsboro, and on the itinerary it said you're working at the largest club in town. Now, in a small town, everybody knows where the largest club is. I stopped on the outskirts of town. I asked the lady behind the counter at the Convenient Mart, where is the largest club in town? She goes, oh, you're working at Sam's. So I go driving back down the highway. Sure enough, there it is, Sam's Club. It is a little deceiving because underneath the sign it did say members only. But I feel really smart being from North Carolina. I really do. I mean, we're a cool state. We're first in flight, first in turkeys, first in furniture, but we do lead the nation in illiteracy. 0.8% of the population of our state cannot read or write. And I said, oh, that's so sad. But I would use that to my advantage. Cop pulls you over. Is this your correct address? Well, I don't know. What's it say? Then you see the stop sign back there, 4-letter word. I didn't know what it was. Now, for some reason, if you can't read or write, you feel the need to open up a fruit stand on the way to the beach. I have never seen so many misspelled words on a sign in my life. Fruit, F-R-U-T-E. Produce, P-R-O-D-E-U-C-E, deuce. They're selling watermelon, W-H-A-T, watermelon. Apples, A-P-O-O-L-S, apples. Peas, P-E-Z, pears. Squash with no U, squash. Cider, C-Y-D-E-R. Tomatoes, T-O-E-M-A-T-O-E-Z. Hey, look, if you're not laughing, these are misspelled. Some of you are like, I don't get it. My favorite is cantaloupe, C-A-N''T. Cannot elope. Now, this bothered me. I'm from North Carolina. I did a little research. I found that the first settlers in North Carolina settled on Roanoke Island on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Now, all the people disappeared, with the last remaining clue, the letter C-R-O-A, inscribed up on a tree. Now, everybody thought that was from the Croatan Indians, but I'm convinced it was a fruit stand. Someone was selling corn. See, I felt bad making fun of people that cannot read or write that open up these fruit stands. I went back, I bought a bushel of cucumbers and sweet potatoes. Some of you still don't get it. They had another sign that said hand-diped ice cream. D-I-P-E-D, diped. I knew it was dipped and I wanted some. I went over, I said, I'd like some of that hand-dipped ice cream. He said, how many scoops you want? I said, I don't know. How big is your hand? I do a lot of the grocery shopping. Growing up in a big family, being the middle child, not having a lot of money, I have learned that you can buy anything at the grocery store with a fluorescent circle on it. And that means it's good until tomorrow. You buy it, you put it in the freezer, you pull it out in 1 to 6 months, and you eat it then. Now, I like to see what people will put in their basket. Like I went to the store and I'm watching this guy, and in his basket, he has cured ham. I'm thinking, whatever was wrong with this ham? What kind of disease did this ham have now that it is cured? I saw an older couple with a box of grape nuts in their basket. Grape nuts. Good cereal, dumb name. I think any cereal that you put in milk and 3 days later it's still hard should be called gravel nuts. I saw a granddad and his grandson, and in the store, in the basket, they had Depends undergarments and pull-up pants. This is the same product in 2 different sizes. Put them both on the same commercial. I'm a big kid, look what I can do. I can go in my pants too. North Carolina's got more farms than any other state. Past the farms, hear the normal farm sounds, chickens, roosters. Saw a bunch of cows that couldn't reproduce, had a big sign above their head that said milk duds. Yeah. D-U-D-Z. You can't live in the South and not like NASCAR. You guys big motor racing fans? Yeah, 3 of you. Who has a favorite race car driver? Yell them out. Anybody? Favorite race car driver?
Dale Jr.
Dale Jr. That's good. Who else has one? Dale Jr. Who else has a favorite race car driver? Casey Kane. I thought you said Casey Kasem. I'm Casey Kasem on AT Top 40. No, it's not. Casey Kane's his name. All right, who else do we have? Anyone else?
Mark Martin.
Mark Martin. Casey Kane. Those names are quick and easy. Mark Martin. Casey Kane. Who else has one? Favorite race car driver? Okay, that's it. Now, who's been to a big motor racing event before? Big track somewhere? Where have you been, ma'am?
Indy 500.
Indianapolis 500, and that's in Indiana. Okay, who else has one?
Daytona.
Daytona 500. Anyone else?
Talladega.
Talladega, Ricky, Bobby. That's good. All right. So where's yours? Anyone else? That's it? Okay. If you've never been to a big motor racing event, you have to go. This is Southern culture at its finest. I went to the Charlotte Motor Speedway last Memorial Weekend. 120,000 people. Shirts off, drinks in hand. Come on, Junior! People, they do not care what their body looks like. The shirt comes off. I have never seen so much pale white skin, pink sunburn in my life. And the size of people. I mean, keep your shirt on. I'm sitting beside this guy. He's big enough. He's using his belly button as a can hugger. Races. They're exciting, though. Don't get me wrong. There's a reason you pay $150 for a ticket. The cars go around a track at 200 miles an hour. Oh, that's exciting. But you know, after 50 laps, it's not that exciting. You know, if there's nothing else going on, if there's no bumping, no action, no drafting, no accidents, it's just fast driving. It's like being out on Interstate 40 or I-95, I-85. See, I think if 50 laps go by and there's nothing else exciting going on, they should simulate driving like we have to deal with on a daily basis. That's right, 50 laps, no wreck, put a couple deer on the track. You get a little old lady, let her go 45 miles an hour with the turn signal on in the fast lane. A couple of these possums for speed bumps. There's nothing international about NASCAR. What kind of makes and models of cars are on the track? Oh, I hear Ford. Ford is one. Who else? Chevy. Chevy is one. Pontiac is one. Dodge is one. Toyota is one too. Toyota is the new one. See, they wanted NASCAR to be an international sport. What better way than adding a foreign-made car like a Toyota? Now, they really wanted to have an Asian race car driver to drive the car to make it international, but you have to realize Southern people are good at 1- and 2-syllable words. Kane, Junior, Gordon, Jarrett, Elliott, that's 3, but it's short. Japanese names are very long. Can you see a good old boy jumping up, no shirt on, drink in hand? Woo! Come on! I don't think I pronounced his name correctly. His car won't even sound like the other cars. Now when you go to the race, you're going to hear this. That sounds like George Jetson. North Carolina, we're a fun state. We really are. I've noticed, though, that people are changing. No matter what state you're from, the people are changing. This whole body piercing and tattooing thing has gotten way out of control. I went to an indoor water park the other day. I'm one of the few adults there, and I want to try to fit in, which is hard when you're 44 years old. I'm walking around, and all the people had a navel piercing. I felt left out. I went and got a bag of peanut M&Ms. I stuck an orange one in mine. There was a big guy walking around. He had a peppermint patty in his. The tattooing is funny. I'll never get a tattoo. I was never in the military, and I have no reason to get a tattoo. I'm not bulging with muscles. I'm not a former military person. I don't see the reason to get it. But people get them for no reason now. Anyone with a tattoo that's here tonight? Anybody have one? What do you have, sir?
I got my last name.
You've got your last name as a tattoo. Welcome to North Carolina. My name is Bob. Whatever that says. It's okay. You see him filling out an application for work? First name, Bob. Last name. Well, that's your name is very important. Apparently, you're afraid at some point you might lose it. So let me put this on here. See, a lot of people get them around their bicep. A lot of guys, if they have a big bicep, will get something around their bicep. And that's good. If you got a big bicep, that's smart. But my nephew got one around his bicep to barbed wire. Now, if your arm is really big, it looks good, but his arm is this big around. His arm is so small, there's only one barb on it. And it's underneath. It looks like armpit hair. He's one of these facial piercer people. He's pierced his face, but he's downsized to the nostril. One in the nostril, which is the most annoying one of all of them. He comes over Thanksgiving dinner, this shiny thing in his nose. I said, look, there's a lot of people here that don't agree with the whole piercing thing. Could you please take it out? He did. We're passing mashed potatoes. He puts too much pepper on it, and it makes him have to sneeze. He covers his nostrils. All the snot goes flying out that little hole. I will not be sitting to his right next year. So my wife and I have been married 14 years. We have 2 beautiful children, 9 and 4. Hard to find stuff on TV that we can watch together as a family. You guys have favorite TV shows that you can watch together as a family? Anybody watch something with someone else? I told my wife for Christmas we got a Sony 1080p, the best television made and the worst television programming in history to watch it on. So it's so funny. So we try to watch shows, like we watch the reruns of The Crocodile Hunter, because I like my kids to see someone that's passionate and loves what they did. But he was a little too much, messing with these animals. We're watching one of the reruns. There's a 15-foot man-eating crocodile in a lagoon behind him. What does he do? He's like, look at this beautiful creature. I'm going to go jump on his back. Rides the thing back into the camera. He's sitting between the crocodile's shoulder blades. He's petting it like a dog. Look at this beautiful creature. If I was to move up just 2 more inches, he could snap off my leg. I'm at home going, move up. They say that all the problems we experience as adults happen as children. And I believe this because I think television programming can have a lot to do with your development into adulthood, which might be the reason we're all messed up. It's very true. For 42 years, there's been a show on television called Sesame Street. Sesame Street, for 42 years, has had a character living in a trash can. You wonder why the unemployment rate's over 10%. Super Nanny's a show that never would have been on in the last generation, would it? We're inviting the English back to tell us how to raise our children. We escaped that country over 350 years ago. But it's so funny because Super Nanny has the naughty chair. The naughty chair. It's a timeout chair. Yeah, when I grew up, my dad had a naughty chair. That was the weapon he used to keep us in line. You get the naughty chair. Another exciting season of American Idol is on. You guys watch American Idol? I love American Idol. I like to see people get up, try their best. Whether they win or lose or don't make the show, at least they tried. But the one judge on there is kind of a little harsh, Simon. That was absolutely terrible. Some of the comments don't make sense, It's like, that reminds me of being on a Baltic cruise at 3 o'clock in the morning after the shrimp buffet. What are you talking about? I would like to get on the show. I have no chance of winning. I would just like to get on and try my best. But I would like to mess with Simon. I would do songs from, say, Kermit the Frog.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows and what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing, and what do we think it might be? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lover, the dreamer, and me. La 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 la.
Jump around from character to character every week. And, I love you. You love me. We're a happy family. But you can't keep doing that. You'll never continue to make it through the program. Eventually, you have to sing some real songs. Like there's actually, they want you to sing a #1 song from the year 2000 to 2009. There was a beautiful love song in 2006 on the pop charts from a guy named James Blunt. The name of the song was beautiful, but the words to the song were a little messed up. It went like this. My life is brilliant, and my love is pure. I saw an angel, of that I'm sure. She was smiling at me in the subway, but she was with another man. And I can't sleep all night, 'cause I've got a plan. No, I'm a stalker. He didn't actually say I'm a stalker, but the words kind of implied that. Yeah, she was down there on the subway and she with another man, but I got a plan. My favorite decade for music was the 80s. My favorite artist of the 80s, a lady named Tracy Chapman. Tracy Chapman looked nothing like me, but the faster she sang, the more she sounded like a sheep. Now you got a fast car. Now I got a ticket to any place. We gotta make a decision. Leave tomorrow, live and die this way. Remember when you're driving in your car. Guys, thanks a lot. I'm David Fair.